What's going on, you titty-twisting, titillating, teabagging twunts?
So said the English major.
Yeah. Welcome to Grunt Speak.
Live! Actually, it is live.
It is live today, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to mince words. I'm Toxic Male. That's the Fat Punisher. And we got, finally, Joker on the show. Finally. Welcome to the show, good sir. It's been way too long.
Who, me? Who,
Yeah.
me? What's going on, guys?
When was the last time you were on, Joker?
He was never on our
I've
show.
never been on yet. We've all been doing this for years in separate universes and never have collided.
Just once. Didn't Cappy do a live stream? They had like a bunch of us on there.
He did,
But
yes.
there were so many of us, it was kind of hard to really get any interaction.
There was a lot of talking.
Well, a bunch of hens in the hen house, right?
Yeah. I guess you want to You want to call it that? It's kind of weird, but all right.
It is what it is. Shark Denture's already jumping in. Merry Christmas, you mistletoe molesting malcontents. I like it.
Excellent.
So how you been doing, Joker? I heard that you won that contest that we did a little short for you.
Yeah, so Daily Wire came out with that with the win their car, and then if you read the small little subprint, it's like or $250,000. And I said, I want to make that happen. So I just let all my supporters know, and I ran ads for like 30 days on my videos, and it basically was like buying their razor kit, which is actually a really good razor kit. I mean, I use that for my head, and I told everybody, hey, if we win this stuff, like I'm going to buy some land and put together a kind of a cool men's retreat where guys can come and hang out, and men can be men, and boys can learn how to be men, and all that good stuff. And yeah, we won. So I'll have to pay Big Daddy government all their taxes and bullshit on that, and then we'll see what I got left over to put on the home front.
Yeah, because we did a commercial for you because we're 100% behind.
I appreciate that. I'll buy you guys a 6-pack when you show up. Yeah.
All right,
because for us, this is all about building community. That's what that number on the board is for. That's why all you guys come in. I mean, I love hearing the stories about people who watch the show, get in touch, help each other out. Help each other through tough times.
Yep.
Well, we're gonna have lots of opportunity to help each other through tough times coming up, I think, pretty quick.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right.
I think you are correct as well.
Never.
But I don't know, man. It's fucking weird. The world is just getting fucking crazy.
Well, let me ask you guys, if I decide to go off the reservation with this thing, one of the guys asks here, am I going to get two $50,000 hookers or 50,000 $2 hookers? Which would be the best way to spend that money?
Well, if you do the $2 hookers, you're definitely going to catch an itchy, scratchy chingo thing.
Yeah,
hey, with that kind of money, though, I can visit the doc. I'm pretty sure, and I'd have leftovers for everybody else. Anybody else that shows up,
It's going to get a dick worm, bro.
Yeah, you don't want to get one of those lifelong STDs.
Herpes syphilis. Yeah, double shot and pills and no cure.
Nobody wants that.
No kidding.
No, I've sent many a soldier on sick call for VADA.
Yep.
You just send them down to the canine units with the MPs, man. Canine units got all the stuff for the skin. It's under the radar. Doesn't go on your permanent record.
The canine unit.
The canine unit. Huh?
Yeah,
I know the really lonely people going out to the canine unit with a jar of peanut butter.
Yeah, or you just make friends with the medic.
Yeah, you could do that, and it's probably certainly better off. But I was law enforcement when I was in the service, and I really do believe our canine units had a side hustle where they would where they'd give some of the meds out that they had for the dogs for their skin or any other issues they had.
Hey, the shit works.
I'm telling you, man, clear you right up. Did go on your record. Your wife could never find out you were misbehaving, and I think they had a side hustle back then. I really do.
Yeah, but there was a couple of dudes that pissed hot for the VADA.
Riggs.
And he left like Riggs after he caught syphilis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he was around for like a week and a half, and I don't know where he went after that.
Yeah, which he gave to a
16-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh,
was it you who had to call her mom?
Yes,
or you had to
call all of the people he was banging.
How long did that take?
About half an afternoon.
How long do you sit in the brig after that one?
He didn't actually get any brig time.
Really?
I don't know what happened to him. A week and a half later, I think they fucked him up pretty bad. I never saw the guy again after this. Like 2 weeks later.
I'd have to hear the story behind that, because I'd figure being in the military. Although there are some laws, I guess, where you can dip your toe in the 16-year-old water, but even for a 21 or
living in one of those states, actually.
I don't know. Down south, it can get weird real quick. You might end up crossing Alabama County where it's 13. I don't know.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, I got you.
Didn't Jerry Lee Lewis marry his cousin?
Yeah,
and she was probably underage too. Who knows?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
It can get a little weird here in the South. That's all I can say. But hey, you know what? That's why I'm here.
Like after Riggs left, we had a new commander come in like 6 months later, and some guys who you get a warning if you get VADA, you get like a counseling, like you fucking do it again, and because the new commander was all wigged out because the old one kind of got hammered because somebody got syphilis.
Well, it's not like he was doing CPR on the
No,
dude's
but the
ass.
thing is, after the new commander came in, you got Vida. It was 1 rank and 3 months pay and 30 days extra duty.
Ooh. Holy shit, that's no messing around.
No, they fucked you up.
Wow.
All that because you're too lazy to wrap it with 25 cents worth of rubber.
No shit, man. I mean, that you can get them in like the nastiest, most fucked up truck stop bathrooms
Here's
imaginable,
the best part.
with the most disgusting Jackson Pollock splattery, disgusting art on the walls. Just
You can go to the battalion aid station. There's always somebody there 24/7 for any like semi-emergencies. And there was a
There you go.
huge fish bowl full of condoms.
Yep.
Like you just walk in there.
it's just
Nobody
sitting
said
there.
shit. It was just there.
It's just sitting there.
Hey,
And Rakes couldn't be bothered.
Nope.
a lot of guys can't be bothered, I think.
I got nothing.
I got nothing. Yeah.
I mean, use a hefty bag of something. You know, some of these chicks are so nasty nowadays. I mean, I just watched the one of your videos today, Joker, about modern women trying to gaslight men into thinking body count doesn't matter. And the thing is, you can't override attraction. You can't negotiate it. Like when you hear that somebody has a triple digit body count, it's a knee jerk reaction.
Oh, it is. It is.
You're like,
I got to put together a mathematical equation of a woman's risk of permanent vida after each additional panas she decides.
Dude, there is a reason why doctors are saying there are now some strains that, these girls are catching it over and over and getting treatment over and over that
Yep.
These new ones are getting almost impossible to cure. Like you're going to have
gonorrhea.
Yep, you're going to have some of this stuff forever if you quit goofing around. So,
Yep. And they think, well, it's like I love that there was a time, I remember I was having a conversation, all of a sudden, chick walks over. I got chlamydia again.
jeez.
And you didn't learn from the first time.
Did I ever tell this
You're
story?
assuming there was only one time before. Let's be honest.
Well, I ran into a friend of an ex-girlfriend, and she was just a raging canker sore whore. All right. Just raging.
Write that down, please.
Canker sore whore. All right.
That's really funny.
Well, it's totally.
Well,
as he literally writes it down to remember.
we like things that rhyme around here.
But the thing is I run into her. It was like maybe 6-7 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And she's married, no kids, and and she was kind of sad about it. She goes, "Yeah, no, I've just never been blessed with kids." And I looked at her because I knew she was just a raging mattress bag. And I'm like, well, chlamydia and abortion tends to do that. You could literally like watch her as the huge stone of regret was just grinding her into the dirt.
How dare you?
Yep.
Because she got 2 abortions.
Abortions, yes.
See, now you do completely different. I come up with new words like baby deletion.
Yes, that works.
And you come up with completely messed up pronunciations of things. I like it.
Rapé is another one that we do.
Yeah.
Which it's just our own like really
Diaka.
screwed up grunt twist on
See,
French
and you call it rapé. I call it the unwanted snuggle struggle.
the unwanted surprise sex.
That's right. That's right.
Everyone likes surprises. Oh, you didn't like that one? I'm sorry.
Not so much.
I got to
not
do
so
another
much.
one acronym show because I always come up with all kinds of acronyms.
My bad.
Oh.
We did have a topic in mind for tonight, but this is just too much fun.
Hey, I'm just here for the show. I just happen to be able to talk for it.
That's
or talk
exactly
on it,
why
I
we're
should
here.
say.
Yeah, and look, Joker, you were saying earlier you have a hard time, bouncing ideas off people.
Well, when you're like 800 or 900 videos deep on a channel.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
And what's weird is like I'll do a video and it'll get 350,000 views, and I'm like, okay, this is something everybody wants to watch. And then a couple weeks later, I'll do one that's kind of similar. It's like 40,000 views, and you go, well, it's okay, but
Yeah.
it didn't hit the same. So
There's
I'll
no
do a different
sense to the algorithm of what
Well,
works and what doesn't.
I mean, this
Yeah,
is what I
it's
want to
kinda weird.
propose to you, Joker. Is I'm trying to put together, anywhere between 4 and 8 dudes on the regular, and we'll just it'll be like our own little man show.
Man,
No,
shut
we'll do it like weekly, like every Thursday night or Friday night or something like that.
All right, we'll have to figure it out.
Because I'll tell you, I don't know if you guys watch some of the kind of the comic book, movie, video game review type channels, but there's like Nerdrotic and
Oh yeah, I watch
Yeah.
that shit all the
Quartering
time.
and
Critical Drinker, Quartering. I watch both.
yeah,
of those guys.
those guys do Friday Night Tights. They do like a Thursday show. They do a bunch of them. I think they do like 3 or 4 a week, where it's at least 3 to 10 of them sometimes. And I always thought that'd be great to do, not necessarily just with Manosphere content creators, but like, I don't know, guys, just men, that
Yeah.
kind of thing, where it's
And
just a
not
bunch of
afraid
guys.
to be men. Yeah.
Yep. And whether you get into politics, you get into dating, you get into marriage, you get into all that stuff. I think I would certainly participate. I certainly would.
All right.
Those are some of the most fun streams that we have. We did one for the midterms. We had like 8 guests cycling in and out all night, and we were just. It was allegedly about tracking the midterms, but we went off in the weeds.
That's what we do, man.
We just spent the whole stream out there, and then every once in a while, Marty would bring us back. Hey, this state just went. Like, yeah, whatever. So back to Riggs and his disgusting dick.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what they do, and they end up. I mean, some of those shows get 15, 20,000 viewers, and then they just take all the super chats and then they divvy it out. They just whoever was on the show gets whatever percentage of however many people are on it, and
Yeah.
And that way, if one content creator gets more, I don't know, questions asked or whatever, it all works out. I just think it'd be fun. There's not many channels where after a while it can get kind of boring listening to the same person. And a lot of times when you put 5 different, I don't know, colors in the room, you're going to get a whole new color coming out of it. So I think it might be an interesting show.
Well, I'll try to put that together. I think.
Yeah, let me know on it.
Yeah, because that's really. I mean, the longer we've done this show, I mean, it's so easy to get blackpilled.
Yeah.
And then you realize when you start to bring in other voices, like, hey, like when you were talking earlier about what things are like in Tennessee, I was like, that sounds nice. Not the cousin fucking thing, but like the rest of it.
Well,
actually having
depends on who you talk to. That they may really appreciate the cousin thing. But yeah, for me, I travel a lot, like a lot, and I've done, I think, about 36 countries now, and
oh, that's cool.
and I've hit every state in the union, and I've probably lived in half of them. And I think that the restart, the starting over, the meeting real people in the real world, and if you're in California, your life is one way. If you're in Florida, it's another. If you're in Tennessee, it's another. It really is like 50 different countries.
Yep.
And it doesn't change necessarily at a state line, but as you traverse across all of it, there is a difference. And in one area where you're crossing Illinois and you get pulled over and you got your boom boom pow pow in the trunk, and you might be looking at 3 to 5. Here they ask you, why do you have it in your trunk? You can't do anything with it back there. Keep it in your glove box. There's such a big difference between different states, and that's why I chose here. I'm about an hour away from the Smoky Mountains. I ride motorcycle, and so the bike is great. There's lakes, there's rivers, there's hunting, there's fishing, there's I think we're in open carry. I'd have to double check, but I mean my concealed is good here. And like I was telling you guys earlier, like if someone misbehaves on your property and you put 2 in them and call the sheriff, he's likely to show up, put 2 more in him, and say, "Good job," just making sure we got him good. And throw him in the hearse and drag him off. So, the big thing I tell guys is make sure you have enough money and the ability to move around. Then if things start popping off, getting kind of crazy, you can at least pack up and move somewhere else.
Oh.
Well, yeah, that's probably what's going to happen here in the near future. We'll see what's up.
Oh, wow. We just had a bit of bad news, brother, but I'm going to throw it up on the screen here. Let's all raise a shot for this guy. Ohio Trucker, $50 super chat says, I wish this stream would have come on another day. I have to give a brother his taps in 21 due to self-deletion. Whether it be the gates of heaven or hell, we will storm them together. To the Valhalla, Doc. Damn. He should have been another one on the board, man.
Well, as I always, that's one rough thing is that, guys get made fun of for expressing their feelings, and a lot of times they hold it in, but there's always somebody out there you should talk to.
Yeah, I hold in all my feelings.
Well, sure, and I think we all do, but you know, the hard part is a lot of guys don't have friends. They don't have the camaraderie with other people, and and they don't have the insurance, or you know, they're a veteran and the VA screwed them over, and
Yeah,
they can't get the professional help, and that's always rough to hear.
Yeah,
that's very common too.
it really is.
Yeah.
What was that? That one lady who tried to be a man for 2 years, and then she
Yeah, I
realized,
did a video on that.
yeah, she
Nora
realized just
Vincent.
how difficult it was, and she said flat out, she's like, "Men don't have it easier. They have it
Yeah,
different. They have it very hard, and they need our affection, they need our understanding, and they need our love." And when you look at how the media treats men, we're not getting any of the above.
Nope. No. In fact,
you know what surprises me? I was reading a statistic, the Boston Hospital, and they said they did about 200 transitions of minors under the age of 18 over the last year or two, and something like 176 out of the 200 were women or young girls becoming boys. And there's part of me that's like, you just don't know what you're signing up for. Like you're giving away your easy pass, and you're signing up for tough.
Yeah.
Because anybody that says men have it easier today, they just do not. I mean, they may be listening to the feminist trope, but they're not. They have not been out in the real world. And I did a video 2 years ago. I did one on this Nora Vincent woman, who's the author
Yeah.
that lived as a man for a little while, and all of them, every single one of them that went from woman to male or female to male, said, "I didn't realize how there's no community. Like it's impossible to get friends. Nobody cares if you're a guy, or
well,
if
it's
they
not
perceive you as a
impossible to
guy."
get
Like,
friends, but yeah.
And women treat you like garbage.
Oh yeah.
They do. Like when we hear all the time, women love to gaslight. They put this narrative out that men can't handle rejection. Please, that is our default setting in
Yep.
interpersonal relationships. Because
Next.
it's like,
Next.
and I forget who said it. Rejection makes a man. It breaks a woman.
Yes, it does.
yep. And you know, some what's interesting is that, you know, you take Chad's Thunderstroke, like some guy that's been out there, he's been through the weeds, he asks out a lot of women, he's betted a lot of women, he knows the game. That guy's bulletproof. Like, you're not going to hurt his feelings, he doesn't care. But the soft, tender, you know, feminist men that are, "Oh, I'm on your side, girl," they're the ones that can't handle the rejection. They're the ones that freak out.
Yep.
They're the ones, because they're not really they're not really doing anything to. They're not on women's side. They're just trying to say they are. They're the chameleon of the men's world.
I know they want to break off a piece.
Yep. And then when they get rejected, because they have to basically put themselves down and throw dirt on themselves and act like they're crap, try to get some, because they think it's going to get them somewhere. And the women are like, "No, you're not attractive, or you're going to be a provider while I go out and sleep with this other guy."
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, that's the feminists hate feminist men, because those men won't even stand up for themselves. So there's no way they're going to protect women, and women want protectors, whether they say they want it or not. I'm going to do a video for probably tomorrow, where it's 7 women are talking about, and these are like 7 average women. You know, they're good looking, but they're talking about what they want there, and every one of them's like, "Oh, I'm a feminist," or I'm an empowered woman, but I still want him to pay for dates. I still want him to be muscular and tall so he can protect me. So what they are is, they're like, I want a traditional masculine old school guy, but I want to be a progressive woman that can sleep with everybody and be a, you know, badass boss bitch and everything that men don't want. And then they're like, why can't I find a man that's like,
They don't exist.
They've just lost their minds, man. They've just lost their minds.
Yeah. In fact, did we film one in the pop culture for the can about warning signs, the feminist thing,
No.
the chameleon
yet.
feminist? I think I'm going to do that
We'll
video.
get there.
And it's like a list of questions you ask women, and depending upon how they answer, you can tell if the first one is, "Are you a feminist?" If they say yes, you're done.
Yeah.
For me, it's easier than that. You can just say, are you or do you identify as a woman? If they say yes, game over. just walk away. You're going to lose that one eventually anyway.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Because even women who claim not to be feminists still hold a lot of feminist beliefs.
That's absolutely correct.
So
Dude, I did another video that I streamed over on Locals where I was talking about that, and up to 70% of some colleges, all the women identify as LGHDTV, and in the college average is 40% of women. It's as low as 15 or 20%, but they said no college was like under 15% of women identifying
So,
as as either bi or pan or some other thing.
are you still talking about the loose, gay, butt twerking queer community?
yeah,
Is that what you said?
Yep. Exactly.
LGBTQ WTFLOL. Yeah.
And the thing is, either if they really do identify it as that, well, self-correcting problem, they won't procreate. And if they're faking it and they're really not, then I think what they're going to do is end up screwing up their own heads. And because I'll tell you now on dating profiles and stuff, because I do the dating profiles of the day a lot, these women are always putting something other than straight. There's no virtue signal points in saying that you're straight, so they don't put it out there anymore. And for me, again, if a woman says she's anything other than straight, that's pretty much your easiest
They're
tell.
done.
Well, that's your easiest tell right there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's very good. We're gonna make sure we add that one to the list because, yeah, it's when politics have become so emotionalized, you're gonna sway more women to that side than men because
Well, I was reading something that if only women voted, every state would be 100% Democratic, except for maybe 2. Like women have because they overwhelmingly vote with their feelings,
Uh-huh.
and then when
they vote for the easy way out.
yeah,
yep, and you know what comes? You guys know this as well as I do. What comes after the easy way out? The truth. The hard times follow. There is no easy way out.
Nope.
Just like this country is going to see when we have our financial collapse in the next year or 2.
yep. Everybody thinks it's free shit. It's an easy way out. Next thing you know, you realize that you just took the express train to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they're going to find out real quick too.
It's not going to be good. Well, we can cover one of these stories here because it kind of
This is local.
goes on. This is another local one here. This is the dumb leftoid of the day, and well, he's not dumb anymore. He's not really much of anything. Family seeking justice after their son walked into a police station and tried to shoot an officer at the front desk. I'm here to see Sarah Connor. Can I see her, please?
And the best part about this is the gun malfunction.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
All right, it's called a fucking rehearsal.
So 33-year-old Ali Naji walked into the department with a 9mm, aimed it at a police officer, tried to fire it, but it malfunctioned. While trying to fix the gun, an officer whose name has not yet been released fired several rounds, taking care of the problem.
Yep.
Apparently, he had a history of mental illness, and because of that, his family deserves justice.
Listen,
That cop had like what? A quarter of a second to react? Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to be honest here. Right now, we're seeing this happen with people who are, mentally deranged.
Yeah.
All right. But the thing is our faith in the police, our lawmakers and judges, the whole system, we're losing faith in that.
Yep.
And, it's going to get to the point, and I hope this doesn't happen, but they're not going to actually attack the police station because that's where everyone is. What are they going to do when they're dodging pot shots as they drive around on patrol? They're fucked.
Yep.
Well, it's not only that. I think a lot of the good cops in many of these areas are the ones that quit. They're the ones that are going to say, look, I am a good cop. You don't get to call me racist. You don't get to say I'm a horrible human being. And I don't stick my neck out there just for you to, try to take me out or fire me or look at, granted, there's the Chauvin case and stuff like that. But the whole point is there's going to be a lot of cops that say, the money I'm getting paid for the danger that I face and my department not backing me up and throwing me to the wolves if someone makes some claim against me, the good cops are going to eventually leave. And what's interesting is then at that point in time, both sides will hate the police. Everybody will hate the police.
Yes.
They're going to do it to themselves because only the worst cops will stay behind because they're worthless at doing anything else. And that's not to say that all cops are bad. I'm not that guy. but in many areas. I mean, the crime shooting up in New York and all these others because the cops are just like, I'm just going to stay in my car. Like I'm just not going to respond anymore. And they've quietly quit too.
Yep. Well, now I'll say this though. I talk to a lot of people who deal with divorce court, family court, and then the police. And quite frankly, the system is so fucking broken. I don't even know if it could be fixed.
I think they want it broken.
Yeah.
The government wants an excuse to go federal. They want to go national. They don't want states to have their own rights. The government, the FBI, the CIA, all the major institutions. Why do you think these newspapers and everybody, and then Gavin Newsom in California, and then Lori Lightfoot up in Chicago, they start talking about what DeSantis just rolled through in one of his bills in Florida. Like, you're not in Florida. Shut up. Who cares?
Yeah, I know.
But they're trying to make everything a national issue so that the feds can come in and shut it all down. And what people don't understand is that there's the Democrats and then there's the Republicans, which are just the slow rolling Democrats. Like,
yeah, you're right.
The shift to the left and losing your freedoms and them not caring. Democrats want power. Republicans want money. They're the same side of the coin. It's just, or they're the same coin, just different sides of it. But the coin is shit, and it hates you, and it's coming for you. And I just never thought I'd be an anti-government, anti-everything, leave me the F alone guy. But here we are. The last 5 years have between the CIA, the FBI, the CDC, the FDA, I hate everybody now. I hate all of them.
Yeah. The WHO.
The WHO.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day when the WHO was a rock band. Now it's a bunch of doctors who come together to lie to you and give you poison.
Yeah, they're all on China's payroll.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and yet still, despite the fact that they were wrong about everything for 3 years, just about, YouTube still looks to them as the apex predator of medical knowledge, to the point where when you posted a Senate committee meeting and a supporters stream that was unlisted and inaccessible to the YouTube community, you still got a community guideline strike.
I know.
Yep. And one of the guys in my chat just posted this. He said, remember when the baby deletion was abolished by giving it back to the states to decide. And what did the Democrats? And again, I'm not trying to make this totally, political and all this stuff, but the Democrats came out and they said, "Oh, well, this is evil, and we must protect women. We must do this and this." It's like no one abolished anything. It just went back to the states. Florida can decide what they want to do. Texas can decide what they want to do, and California can, take you out up until and including the day of your 13th birthday. But again, they try to make, if you notice, if you watch the government, anybody in the federal, which is Senate, Congress, the rest of it, any of them are all trying to push for a federal oversight over everything. Yep. And if you kind of keep that in mind, you'll better understand what's going on, because they will not let states be states, and the internet ruined that, quite frankly.
You're probably right on that one, but I don't know.
Well, it's just way too easy to find an echo chamber that you can go hide in.
Well, I mean,
on the internet.
Well, a lot of the guys in the conservative community who are using logic and reason are getting excommunicated from big tech.
Yep.
Well, the Twitter files that dropped, and I know you're going to talk about this in a little bit, but the Twitter files that dropped, it's like the FBI was literally paying Twitter, paid them like 3.5 million. They're paying other places. They're in communication saying, we want these people removed. We want these satire accounts removed. We want these meme makers removed. And when we and how this all ties in is, if you look at the guy that just went into the station there and did this, that would have been a local story in the past. But now, if it fits the narrative, they push it. It goes nationwide, and then they try to. We need to remove anything that is semi-automatic. It's like that's everything except for maybe a pump, except for maybe a lever action, except for maybe a pump shotgun. Like they are purposefully using this to take away your rights. First Amendment, they're working on it. Second Amendment, they're working on it. 10th Amendment, which is the feds trying to take over the states, they're working on it. They're coming for all of them. I mean, the Constitution's already got so many holes, it's Swiss cheese, but
Yep.
Sorry, I
Give
didn't
me
mean to take
time.
over there. You can bring your story back up there. You get me on a rant, man. Like I'm so
no.
anti-government, anti anything more than me and myself protecting myself right now.
I mean, the only time that our current Congress, executive branch, even the judicial, the only time they look at the Constitution is to make sure their ass has been wiped. That's pretty much it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, one of the big things that has really accelerated is qualified immunity.
Oh, yeah.
If the judges, the prosecutors, the cops, and the lawmakers are immune to the violating the Constitution, then there is no Constitution.
Oh, you're not done.
That
You're not
needs to
done
be
yet.
fixed.
You're not done yet. Rich actors,
Uh-huh.
Yep.
politicians.
Alec Baldwin.
Exactly. It's everybody above the average citizen.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, how many
and
times have we seen politicians break the law? And they just get a slap on the wrist and sent on their way. I mean, there was that. Hillary Clinton should be buried underneath a federal prison, whereas there was a guy on a submarine just happened to take a picture that included in like a corner of the frame a little bit of the engine. 5 years in the club.
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
I think Trump let him out.
The rules for thee, none for me.
I know. I mean, listen, that is just egregious right there.
Yeah. And so is this. Yeah, we'll add it right back in since Joker already hit on it. The government did pay Twitter millions of our money since we actually pay taxes. I'm assuming most of the people who watch this show also pay taxes and contribute to censor info from the public. It's a whole 7-part thread. Here's the whole thing here. All sources are going to be available on the website. I just have to add them in because I forgot to do it before the show, but I'll get to it after.
Now, I sent a tweet to Elon saying, please send us a copy of the bank records showing the money going into Twitter's account.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's one thing to read about it or see the tweet.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad enough. But if you have the tweet and you're like, oh, here's the deposit of all the money from the feds, and it becomes irrefutable then.
Yep.
But here's the thing: how many members of the other than Rand Paul, how many Republican congressmen or senators do you hear talking about this? They don't care.
Nobody.
No, they don't. They do not care. There's no one that has your back on this stuff, so they'll take your tax money, give it to the FBI, and then the FBI will give it to somebody else to silence you. So basically, you're paying to silence yourself. It's like a big roundabout. And if you either know history or you trust your government, because all this federal tax started at 2%, and I forget. It might have been during the war or something or other. But it started,
War I think it was.
I think it was before that. It might have been. I don't know. I can't even make a guess, but I do remember it was around 2%, and they said it was temporary. Well, look where we are now.
It's always temporary. The FBI was supposed to be temporary. It was supposed to be there for prohibition only, and here we are.
Yeah,
There is a little part of me that hopes we can get at least enough of a collapse where the federal government will shrink and or fail, and we have to go back to the states. Because I do not see us getting out of this unless the states are the ones with the power. Because if the feds keep getting the power, this whole show goes down.
Yep.
Yeah, listen, we're already beyond the point of no return. I hate to be the black pill naysayer, but I don't see any way out of this. It's like all funneling down to a big crescendo of a 2-way rifle range.
Yep.
That could be in 2 years, it could be in 20 years, but it is on its way.
I wish I had something more enlightening to say, but I think at some point we're either going to need to get some politics, and that's why they're going after. Look, I'm not a big Trumper, and he didn't do as nearly as much as he said he was going to do for clearing the swamp and stuff. But I think that's why they fear him so much, and I think that's why they fear Twitter talking about things, and they do not want this information getting out about the deep state. And it's too late; it's out. It's just how many people are paying attention, and how many people are willing to go to the wall, not literally, but. I don't expect anybody reaching over and starting to load up their items to march on Washington. But how much are we going to push back? How much are we going to complain? How much are we going to vote new people into office? How much are you going to pay attention to your local? If DeSantis teaches anyone, and DeSantis and we'll say Newsom in California, if that doesn't tell you that your local voting is more important than the national or as important, I don't know what to tell you.
Yep. I don't know,
Yeah.
man. You are 100% correct though.
Maybe if we go into a second Great Depression and we all lose money and the ability to pay the government, who knows? I don't know, but I don't have a lot of faith that we're going to walk out of this with a ticker tape parade and
No,
sucking on candy cane. I don't think that's going to happen.
It's bad news.
it's going to be bad.
I mean, and things got. I mean, it really began, I think, with the 19th Amendment. As soon as people who had no skin in the game were able to vote in their own self-interests,
Yep.
then the government was like, "Oh, well, now we can use this as an excuse to play on people's emotions and grow our power."
Yep.
And then we're going to transfer from being a country that its federal government is, funded by tariffs and things that the federal government actually should control. Now we're going to just tax the ever-loving fuck out of our own citizens, and then when the money runs out there, we'll just take away the gold standard, and now it's just your faith that keeps the whole monetary system going because it's backed by nothing.
Yep. Yeah, and everybody gets down on crypto because they say it's backed by nothing. We're a debt. We're backed by debt.
Yeah.
That doesn't turn out so great, and
No.
and there's a reason why they want everybody to be uninformed and ill-informed. And again, I hate just crapping on one political party because I hate them all, but one's in charge, and they're trying to push through voting down to the age of 16 and making DC a state so that they can get more Congress and senators in, and making Puerto Rico a state so they can get more Congress and senators in, and trying to make it these 11 million non-citizens the ability to vote. And of course, they're going to vote for the people that gives them all the free stuff. We do not have the money and the ability to handle all that.
No, we don't.
And at a certain point, we default on our debts. India and the BRIC countries, or the BRIC countries, I guess they call them, they're already looking how to circumvent the petrodollar. And I'll tell you something: if we don't have the petrodollar as a standard, America's done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is game over. Game over. That's the
Well,
only reason
we would at least have something tangible.
Yep.
Because under Trump, we were a net energy exporter.
Yep.
We were doing phenomenal.
Even the energy aside, it's the only, everybody had to compare their money and trade with the United States dollar or use the US dollar. And that's what's kept us, I mean, even being 32 trillion or 33 trillion in debt, that's what's kept our heads above water. As soon as we lose that petrodollar, which is what all these other countries, I mean, when you say China, India, okay, right there's 2/3 of the, and I think it was Saudi Arabia, these other countries, Russia, they're all looking to circumvent the petrodollar. If they just don't use the dollar anymore, we're Venezuela. And I don't think enough people understand that. And so what they do is just like anything, and I don't have my keys next to me here, they dangle and jingle little things. Oh, Twitter problems, and look at Trump bad, and oh, this Democrat over here bad. And in the meantime, they're doing sleight of hand over here with BlackRock and Vanguard man, if the more I know and the more I learn, the worse of a feeling I have for everything. Right. And it's such a black pill. I hate it.
Yeah. And this isn't anything new either.
Well, yeah. And you can't sit here and say, oh, it's going to be all right. Like, dude, don't be a doom gloom. Okay, man.
All right, so we're going to talk about the famous haircut that was performed in front of the entire world in the 60s.
What did you say? Meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
That's it.
This is nothing new, and that there's still. I mean, and what really cracks me up is that this was released, and then of course the media is trying to give Joe Biden credit for it. Well, the first two big document dumps from the CIA regarding the JFK assassination occurred in 2017. Who was president then? We're not going to talk about it because we don't like to give him credit for anything.
Right.
But even still, there's 3% of the documents are being withheld,
redacted. Yeah,
and you always have to wonder exactly what's being.
I got news for you. The real incriminating stuff went into the shredder 60 years ago.
And the dudes who actually pulled the trigger,
long dead.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're long dead. They were ground up, and then somebody ate them in hamburger patties.
Oh yeah. Because did you hear what was it? Robert RFK, Robert Kennedy, which is I think maybe it's his nephew or something like that. He came out and he was like, "Man, I know the government's the one that gave him the haircut. They just did something on Tucker Carlson for it the other day."
And Hillary got her seat by because one of the Kennedys died in his plane.
Yes.
He crashed.
JFK Jr.
Crazy, isn't it?
he was going to be going for the same New York Senate seat, and then miraculously
He died.
he died.
You know what's weird is over the last 3 years, I thought there was a whole lot of conspiracies and nutsos, and come to find out they were kind of right on everything or a lot of stuff. And and those of us that are like, you're weird, dude. Like the government's not that bad. 3 years later, I'm sitting here going, yeah, okay, the government's kind of that, like they're kind of that bad.
bad. In fact, they're probably far worse than anybody can even conceive of.
Exactly.
I mean, you look at the shit that's just been coming out in the last few years alone. It's like, damn, this is like a bad Roland Emmerich.
It's like 90% of all the stuff Alex Jones ever talked about is actually coming true.
Dude, if you put a dollar into your Alex Jones was right jar, you are doing very well for yourself. You've got a better return than the stock market right now.
I'm waiting for Nasty Pelosi to like trip, and then one of her fake tits falls off, and then we see lizard skin underneath. Like, oh god!
Now we know.
Oh, now we know. They really are lizard people. Holy shit!
Wow.
I don't think you need to go that far to believe it. I don't even think you even need to see it. You just need to see what's going on to know.
But pretty much, yeah. Get your tinfoil hats and pitchforks, ladies and germs, because we're marching on DC.
So how many shots were fired at Kennedy? 4 or 3?
I think it was 3.
Yeah,
all within something like 5 seconds from a bolt action rifle from 500 meters away or whatever it was. Like,
it was like 200.
Yeah, I totally believe it.
I remember watching there's a documentary that was done, and the guy actually had the car and had the rifle, and the guy was trying to get the 3 round. He couldn't do it.
No.
And a professional marksman who had like 90 days to train up with the weapon couldn't make those shots.
Yeah. And Oswald was not exactly
he was a Marine. I mean, Marines are historically good at shooting,
but not that good.
No.
But not that good. No.
Now, if you had it like an M1 Garand from say 50 meters or something like that, that's a shot you could easily make. So, and you could make those 3 shots quick enough. And again, I don't have enough, but I can tell you this: the minute you're like, I totally trust what the government says about X, you got a problem.
That's right.
Like it's almost better to the minute they say A, you go, oh, so B happened then, right?
Yeah,
that's where we are.
Did you guys hear that there was this little snippet from a comedian that started going viral a little while ago? And he was talking about people saying that he was nuts for believing in conspiracy theories. It's like, no, I don't believe in all conspiracy theories, but you don't believe in any conspiracy theories? You're telling me that the government never lies to you? And he's like, look, I got a kid. He's 8 years old. And I lie to that little nigga all the time.
Right.
I started laughing so hard. I'm like, oh my God.
I mean, you can start at MK Ultra and go from there. And by the time you get to,
well, I did a whole show where I talk about all of the different experiments that have been done on U.S. servicemen throughout the years.
Yep.
It's egregious.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's with the whole poke and smoke thing.
Yeah,
that is one of the main reasons why our military is gutting itself right now.
Yep.
Did you know that virtually every staff, every like battalion and above they have a battalion commander, and then he has staff that works underneath them?
Yeah.
Did you know that they're like at 40 to 50% strength? Like half of those people left.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
They fucking done.
Yeah, they're done. I mean, and then of course you've got the wokeness training, over almost 6 million hours of it last year alone.
Well, that's why the good old boys that used to say, I love my country, I love God, I love my lead, and I love my family. Those were the guys. I was one of them. You were one of them. We went into the military, and for some of us, it was like, I need a job, but also I want to serve my country and do my duty. Well, those same guys are looking at, like, if you're going to cry over being called the wrong pronoun, you're not going to have my back in a foxhole. You're not going to have my 6. I'm not. Forget it. Like, I'm not in for that. And so what happens is you end up getting these, dummies that are so out of shape they can't do anything else. They don't have any other options. They're the ones signing up for the military, and you're going to get a fighting force that is. And the good news is, because we still do have our Second Amendment, I don't think our sovereignty, like, I don't think anybody's going to be landing on our shores to come after us. but they won't need to. They can stand back and watch us tear ourselves apart, or they can just keep buying our government like they're already doing. Just buy our politicians, buy our businesses, buy our corporations. Just the oligarchs will slowly impose the rules on us, and they don't really need to take us out. And you get the right couple of hackers that can take out the right couple of fuel lines or water lines or desalination or not desalination, septic lines or whatever. Food stops getting delivered for 2 weeks. Guess what? All the people with all those little pews, they start taking each other out, and you can just sit back and watch. I guarantee you the way that they're going to come after this country, other than through the government and the corporations, is if they hack enough fuel lines, if they hack enough water lines and power lines, and electric goes out, water goes out, food delivery stops for a couple of weeks, everybody's going to end each other at the Walmart trying to get the last cans of food. That's how it's all going to go down. That would be, if I were going to do it, and I'm just an idiot sitting in a room in the middle of nowhere. If I can figure that crap out, don't tell me that other governments aren't thinking the same thing of hacking our fuel.
It's not even that difficult. I mean, I spent 33 years in the military, most of it in special operations community. I was a Green Beret. All I did was I studied wars since I was 13 in all of its forms. I mean, and what you and I are doing right now, this is unconventional warfare.
Yep. 5th gen.
It's information. That's it. And I understand the principles. I know how this works.
And in a world run by computers, this is the main battleground.
It is.
Sure. And why do you think that they know that TikTok is gathering information on Americans and it's corrupting our youth, and they've done absolutely nothing about it? There's a reason for that stuff.
Well, they're all
There's
in
a reason for it.
And all this Congress is bought, sold, and paid for by foreign interests.
Well, that's it. And the average age is 400 years old. So they know they can reap the rewards now and not have to worry about the consequences, because they're going to be dead and their kids are going to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
See, that's it though. And this is what's going to happen if it really gets bad.
Yep.
Yes, those people, they'll be out of office. They'll die of old age or whatever. And
their kids, however,
their kids who got all that money,
they'll be fair game.
I have no problem. I'm not going to participate, but I am not going to lift a finger to protect those.
Well, we see it all throughout history. When you read the novel, The Tale of Two Cities, it really gets down to the nitty gritty of what happens after the bourgeoisie, after the people in charge are gone. Then the aristocrats and the bourgeoisie, they're the next on the chopping block.
It's just going to go right down the list.
And I forget which country. I did a segment on this on one of my videos. I think it was, I don't think it was Malaysia. I think it was like Myanmar or something or other. But there's a couple of these countries that had the highest ESG scores, and they were getting rid of petrol and taxing this and doing this and getting rid of farmers and trying to live up to the ESG so that they could get this quote unquote money from BlackRock in the United States. They've already collapsed, and the citizens stormed, the Capitol buildings, and their governments are out, and those people are dead. And it was Sri Lanka. That's it.
Sri Lanka,
one of the guys in my chat here. Thanks, Sheepdog Dad. Sri Lanka was one of them, and now people are starving. Look at Venezuela. Same thing. They get the power. They come in. They say, we're going to take over the oil. We're going to take over the grocery stores. We're going to take over the means of production. Every time it fails, and they're going to try to do it again. And I think it's going to end poorly for our upper class.
Very
yes,
poorly.
It will.
Well, they think they're untouchable because that's all they've ever known.
Sure. They're spoiled just like everybody else.
And they project, and they have taught, the middle-class trust funders to project the privilege they actually have onto everyone else.
Yeah. And I think they'll get away with a lot of it, so long as people's bellies are full, so long as they can keep, turning on their Netflix and watching their movies.
Yep.
So long as they feel like they have the semblance of freedom to make choices. But at the rate that they're moving and shutting down petroleum, well, hello.
Yeah, but as soon as all of that stops.
Oh, is that your segue to a butt? Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. I was just
gonna get real. I don't know, man.
But see, here's the thing: if you look at Holland and some of these other countries, sorry, I'm bogarting your show here, but if you look at these countries like over in the Dutch are shutting down 30,000 farmers, and you look at the food processing plants here that have burned, which, coincidental or not, you look at
It's over three
Bill
times the
Gates.
average.
Yeah, Bill Gates buying all the farmland. You start saying, okay, I see what's going on here, but you got to understand that the minute that people start getting hungry, the minute people start worrying about their children, the minute there's no more medicine coming from China because we get in some stupid conflict and they cut it off, you got to understand that there's enough of them close enough. They will walk their asses to Washington, and then they can hide in the bunkers and everything else. But the problem is, at that point, no one listens to you anymore.
That's right.
Yeah, no one listens. Right, and no one listens to you anymore, and then the world moves on without you, and you can hide in your bunker. But we're going to keep moving on. So, if there's any good news out of this, it's the fact that there's going to be 330 million Americans minus kids. The 250 million Americans. That at some point, if it gets bad enough, are all going to be on the same side.
Yep.
Black, white, Asian, gay, straight, doesn't matter. You get people in a bad enough situation there, and that's why we don't give up our Second Amendment ever, no matter what.
Joker, you are saying exactly the same thing I've been saying for the past 2 years.
Yep.
When people can no longer eat, get water, gas for their car, heat their house, it's going to get fucking real then.
Yep. And that's when we'll realize that all of the pronouns and all of that bullshit, that's exactly what it was. It was their tools to divide us.
Right.
And then when it comes down to pronouns or feeding your food, having fuel to, make sure that you can start a fire and not fucking freeze to death.
Yep.
People are going to come together, and it's not going to be pretty for the people who did this to us.
And that's why I tell you right now, I will if I bought this land and I did this setup and everything is great and wonderful, and for some reason Tennessee came out and they said we're just banning all, we're getting rid of the Second Amendment in this state, I'll put it up for sale and move back to Florida. I will not give up my Second Amendment ever.
Yeah.
And it's easy to say, well, from my cold dead hands, and then one morning you wake up and you've got a long, a barrel pushing your nose off to the side, and they go, where is it? That's when you go, they're right over there, officer. Like there's a certain point where you say, okay, all right, maybe I'm being a little bit hyperbolic, but I will vote for a frog in a pot before that will not mess with my 2A, because the minute that 2A is gone, we're done. Definitely. You look at New Zealand, you look at Australia, you look at Canada, you look at China, you look at all these countries, and what did they do during the lockdowns? They're talking about imprisoning people, forcing stuff, locking you up, welding you, all of them, every single one of them. Here, what happened? Some states did it, but other states like Florida, like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. And the only reason they could do that is because of the Second Amendment.
Yeah. And there are so many people here who are stupid enough to just hand them over.
Yeah.
Because they don't realize that if you take all of the wars fought in the 20th century and add up the death tolls of all of them, it's dwarfed by the number of people, unarmed people, who were massacred by their own government.
Correct.
Yep. But if you look
at a little trick, Joker.
Yeah.
This is the Green Beret answer. You don't have all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
And one of those baskets should be buried 4 feet deep in a waterproof container that only you know about.
Yes.
Correct, sir.
Maybe, just maybe, it'll be a time capsule years from now. If you never need it, you can leave a note in there saying, hey, if you find this is why I put it there. And but if you have to dig it up, it's go time.
Yeah. And all of our boom, boom, pew, pews, the tragic boating accident, very sad.
Well, when I got divorced, I had to sell like 85% of the stuff.
All of your boom, boom, pew, pew, go
85% of the boom booms.
The boom booms and the pew.
And then I've whittled it down to like a deer rifle. And
I'll tell you something that people do not think about. Maybe you want to have one buried in the backyard. Maybe you want to have one by the bedstand. Maybe you might coincidentally have one sitting 1.5 feet in front of you. But I'll tell you what you better get is I just went and purchased about between my 300, my 30-06, between my AM-15, between everything, I probably bought about 6,000 rounds. You better get that, because it's real easy for the government to turn the spigot off for that. And then if you just say, hey, all I got is my my one or two over here. You what?
Amateur.
Well, hey, you know what? Honestly, if I can't get it done, if I can't get it done and live the next 40 or 30 years of my life with 6,000 rounds, if I can't get it done with that, I'm in a lot deeper, way over my head than I
I
need
would
to
agree
be.
with that.
I got you.
I gotta, I mean, you think about it, because as a matter of fact, my camera and my monitor that I have sitting here, I needed something that would lift it up about this much. And I
Okay.
ended up, I've got a couple of 1,000 rounds and big boxes.
There
and
you
that's
go.
what's holding this stuff
I'll
up.
tell you right now, Joker, if you ever come to Michigan, I will school you on some shooting.
Hey, I'd appreciate it, man. I mean, I did get some marksman's awards. However, that was in the Air Force. So let's be honest.
I was a
Sheriff
Let's,
Force,
sniper.
let's be honest. Yeah, I'd love that, man.
I was a sniper and a sniper section leader.
Hey, we could make a video, take you guys out to the range.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
when you do that kind of shooting, you can't do that at a range.
Oh, okay.
No, for that kind of stuff. Well, I mean, if you really want to, like, I've got a 300 with a scope on there that is supposed to be pretty accurate out to, you can dial in 1,000. A lot of guys will dial in
300 Win
1,000.
mag, you can hit 10 out of 10 at a click.
Well, that's what I've got. Is I've got a 300 Win mag, and I'll tell you something. It cost me an arm and a leg and your left nut. Like, it was expensive. It was really good. It's dialed in well. I got a great scope. I could put out
What kind of
someone's.
scope is it?
I'd have to grab it and check. It's over there.
I don't do it.
But I tell you this: when we were sitting there and kind of he was showing me the scope and we'd locked it on, and I still haven't gone to the range and dialed it all in yet, which I need to do. But it's tricky to find a place you can dial it in at 100, but I'd like to get out to a range that's got a.
No. You set up your own range at state land.
I don't need to at state land. I bought 25 acres.
Well, the thing is, if you want to shoot a click, you can go out to state land or federal land, and it's easy to do that. And if you have a small game license, you can go out there and target shoot all you want. And if the DNR rolls up on you, you're like, I'm just shooting the steel plate, but just in case, here's a hunting license and blah blah.
Yeah,
blah.
They've actually got a range up here that I found north of Knoxville by about 45 minutes. That's state land, and you can shoot out to a click. But the thing is, when you're laying there and he goes, all right, take a look at this, and you're, but
he said,
and you're looking at a headlight on a car that you can't even find the car without the scope, and you're dialed in with a headlight this big on a car. You realize that's about. I want for everything from that to up to about where I have safety at about 12 inches away. So I got everything from a click to 12 inches covered.
Cool.
But make sure you got the ammo for it. That's the thing, because they'll come on. They'll turn the spigot off on that first and hope the war of attrition will.
When I lived out in Phoenix, Arizona,
I was just going to say most OnlyFans chicks have everything from a click to 12 inches covered.
when I was in Phoenix, Arizona for a year, I remember I was out shooting in the desert, and I was maybe 150 meters off of the highway. And I didn't even hear them. I'm just doing my thing. I had my earplugs in. I look over and I have 3 state troopers standing over me going, what you doing? And I'm like, I'm shooting.
Pew pew.
Well, how far are you shooting? 600 meters. Pretty goddamn impressive. Where'd you learn how to do that? As a sniper in the Ranger Battalion. Carry on, Ranger. And they let it go back to their cars and just left me.
Now, this was in California, right?
No, it was in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah. Although, you know what? The way things are going, Phoenix may be going the way of California next.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that lawsuit is moving forward.
We'll talk about that.
The media is focusing on the counts that got deleted, but they're not focusing on the fact that there was enough evidence there for the case itself to move forward.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oops.
Well, some of the stuff I read the first page of the documents that were filed.
Yeah.
Some of them, like the part of the 8 that were shot down, were nebulous.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the judge is like, I need to see fucking physical stuff that can be counted.
Yep.
Somebody who's got their First Amendment rights because of this, and this. That's not enough to overturn anything.
But regardless, I'm sorry, you should not be allowed to be in charge of an election you are running
That's
in.
absolutely correct.
She should have been forced to recuse herself,
Right.
and she didn't. She refused. And there's photos and videos of her in the polling areas.
But,
Yep.
but again,
That's not a conflict of interest at all.
again, how many times was this brought up before the election? Zero. Zero by everybody, including Republicans. They do
I
not
brought it
care.
up.
Well, sure, no, but I'm talking about people,
Oh,
you know,
people
people that
talking
are actually
heads,
in charge of stuff. People have got to get off this. Are you conservative voter or are you Democrat? You're voting for the uniparty
Yeah.
unless you're voting in someone brand new,
Mhm.
and even then you have to be really careful.
Yeah,
because
even
half
then,
the time
it
they get
doesn't take
bought out.
long. I
And
mean, look at AOC.
Well,
Half the freaking goon squad they're all just establishment sellouts now.
That's right.
Right. And well, look at Dan Crenshaw, conservative, former military, and all of a sudden you find out he's fallen in line with everybody else that's
Oh
pro
yeah.
war,
Oh,
pro
you can
this,
totally send money to Ukraine. That's not a conflict of interest or anything. We don't have absolute proof
right.
that it's a money laundering hub for our own Congress.
Yeah.
But there's conservative, quote unquote conservative Republicans doing the same thing. People have got to stop thinking it's well, I'll just vote this other way. You're voting for the same party, which is the I hate you party.
Yep.
Not we hating them hating you party. And people they got to get that through their thick skulls. And granted, yes, there's only so much you can do, but you can go down and vote for anybody that challenges who's already there. And if there was an area that definitely 100% is going to be voting for a Democrat and it's Nancy Pelosi's district, I'd go in and I'd vote for anybody other than her. Just change out the old guard. And if that doesn't work, put in somebody new and somebody new. And then we've got to start. We got to flush this wound out. That's what we got to do. And here you still got the old. You got people that are 90 years old and they're like, stop doing this.
If I've known their name for the last 20 years, vote them out.
Right.
It's too long.
Yep.
You shouldn't be there more than 12.
You are supposed to be a public servant. This was not supposed to be a career through which you could, make lucrative book deals where no one buys your book here, but coincidentally, 250,000 copies get sold in China.
Right.
But that's not foreign interest buying or anything like that.
Yeah.
No.
But Rand Paul gets a pass. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know, man. All I know is something bad's coming. I can't see what happens on the other end.
Yep.
So I wish I could. I had the answers, but
this
don't.
chick's covering up her other end. So
There you go. But that's a big booty.
That's a very big booty.
That woman's going to have Tyrannosaurus rexitis.
Well, that's what happens when you start feeding Asian chicks American fast food, man. They just start polluting in all the right places, but only for a little while.
They got that fucking fat grenade.
Well, I can't tell. Okay, and I'm purposely doing this. I can't tell you what is going to happen, but I can tell you.
Yeah, no, he's just playing with me now.
Actually, my chat's like, dude, say "but" more.
Like, how many more has he got?
But what I can tell you though is that I don't know what's coming, but I can tell you can take care of your own business.
Yeah.
And not everybody this year can go out and buy 25 acres and but I'll tell you, you can get a 1 acre in Texas. I've seen them $3,000.
Yeah.
And maybe that means I gotta save, I can only stick aside $100 or $200 a year or a month. Guess what, man? 2-3 years and the real estate's not going up. Everything's starting to fall off the cliff because the interest rates went up. But if you can show up to land that's listed at $3,000 for an acre out in the middle of BFE, but you can dig a well there. If it's been $3,000 on the market and you show up $2,500 in cash, you'll probably get it. You have a company come in and dig you a well and put in some septic, and you can buy a steel shed that's 1,200 square feet for $20,000.
I'm already way ahead of you, bro. I'm out.
But my whole point is everybody that's like, man, I can't do this because of XYZ. Like, I get it. Maybe you can't do it today, but man, you better make that a priority in your life over everything else.
I saved up for 7 years to buy that property.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I bought it in 2020.
Well, I mean, land is the one thing they're not making more of.
That's
Do you think they're the WEF and all their goons are trying to say, well, you need to make do with less? Not us. You need to make do with less so Bill Gates can become the largest private owner of farmland in the United States, so the Chinese can start buying up farmland in the United States
Yep.
and Africa and everywhere else where they're basically colonizing via communist imperialism. Like, come
Yeah.
on. We
And
know
a lo-
what's going on.
Right. And a lot of people get black-pilled, say, oh, well, they'll come for your land. Look, if we're at that point, we're all screwed anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
Like if we get that deep where you're putting 30 in the, you're putting 30 in the mag. If we're that deep, we're done anyway.
If we're that deep, that those 6,000 rounds will come in handy for at least.
They will right up until I'm dead. I mean, there's a point where you will lose, but at least make it as painful for them as possible. But my whole point is during the Great Depression, during a lot of downturns in this country, and a lot of bad downturns in other countries, if you have, and I'm a big proponent of this right now, if you've got, your own potatoes in the ground, for some carbohydrate, if you've got a recurve bow or you can hunt with a gun or whatever, if you can put food in your belly, you got a well with enough solar electricity to pull the water up, or a hand pump or whatever, and maybe you got a septic tank so you can keep your land clean, you're good for 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
You're a whole lot better than these people that are sitting in an apartment like I am right now, that if I were to run out of food here, it's a trip to Walmart, and if they're empty, what comes next?
Well, Joker, you just need to send me an email and I'll get you some shit via the Greenberg Express.
Dude, I've got 3 or 4 months of MREs that are good for 20 years, 10 feet in front of you.
MREs are not good for 20 years. They're good for 3 to 5 tops.
I've got my I'm being hyperbolic here.
I know. I'm just fucking.
My whole point is that I've got 3 months or 4 months, I forget how many. I've got MREs up there. I've got pasta and cans of beans. I've got 500,000 calories here, and you just cycle through it. That's the best I can do in an apartment. And maybe guys are like, I can only be in an apartment. Hey, get some pasta, get some cans of beans, get some protein powder. Do what you can, but and you know what? If it never pops off, you go, well, this is stuff I was going to eat anyway. And you just slowly cycle through it. But you better have it a reserve, man.
I got you.
I was going to eat it anyway, and I was going to buy a piece of rawhide so I don't bite through my own lip while I'm trying to squeeze out this turd that feels like a brick.
Yeah, exactly. That government cheese.
Coke can.
You'd be the only house where the fucking toilet has stirrups.
You're right.
Dude, I have seen some horrible sights when it comes to MRE shits. And listen, like, there's a couple times you're literally like you're sitting on a bank of toilets, which is a board with holes in it.
Yep.
Middle of Yakima, over a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Going, the guy next to you is like, ah! And he's like wiping his ass, and you can see the blood. You're like, oh god.
Yep.
You better go get that checked.
Yeah, hear a big splash in the toilet. Somebody plays a baby crying on a recorder.
I mean, that's why a lot of military people have hemorrhoids. It's because of the fucking food. It's not well. It will sustain you, but it's not healthy.
No,
nothing the government gives you is healthy. Let's be honest with it.
Yes, you're correct.
It's good in a pinch, and then after that, a loud grunting squeeze.
That's it.
Absolutely correct.
Terrible. But what do you say we read some of the YouTube chats here before we take a quick break and then jump on over to new tech?
Yeah, let's do that, man.
All right, that's a really good one right there. But of course, just like the rest of them,
it's a redhead.
You get like 3 years, and then that starts to go.
She aged like banana pudding. She's
you know what that makes that whole entire photo clutch. Bring it back up again.
Okay.
It's the fact that you can see a dimple through that underwear right above the crack. You can actually see a dimple. That's pretty tight underwear. I got to give you props. I don't think I've seen it painted on like that before.
Well, it's maybe 3 years from now she'll have the devil's braille on her ass, warning all of us that she's aging like banana pudding.
The devil's braille. I had like 3 people message me after that stream, like, dude, the devil's braille. Oh man, you had me almost in tears over that one. That was beautiful.
Now my guys are like, pull that back up. I got to take a screenshot real quick. Like, come on, the internet exists, guys. Come on.
Send me an email if you want. I'll email.
Yeah. We'll hook you up.
Redonkulousblake@gmail.com.
I mean, we always share our links and information.
Oh yeah, always. We got we see rational irrationality here. Hashtag Me Too is the new slogan for 304 is getting the clap.
Yeah.
That's about right.
The slow clap.
Yes, the slow burning clap.
Well, yep.
Cliff 3188 says, Joker, did you get a strike for citing alphabet soup?
I did. Actually, they weren't super clear on what they gave me a strike for, but they,
We never are.
you know, but I'm always careful. I have never really said anything derogatory about the LDHD TV community other than I'll say this guy, and I do quotes,
Yeah.
or this woman. So I'm using the right words. Just
Mhm.
because I've got finger cramps and I'm trying to stretch my fingers out, there was something that they didn't like, and God knows what it is. And that was so I got punted for a week, and I'm like, I'm going to go down and visit my mom in Florida for Thanksgiving anyway, because cooking top notch, and this is the first holiday without my father since he passed. So I wanted to be down there with her, and the whole time I was gone, I was like, I don't want to make any I want to make videos, I want to make content, but I hate YouTube. How do I make these two worlds, coincide? And I said, I'm just going to start doing more stuff on locals, maybe put it over on Rumble, Odyssey. And but the thing is, there's so many people that are just so on Mama YouTube's teat that they're like, I'm not going to any other sites. And I think what's going to happen, there's just going to have to be enough content creators that say, I'm done there. You're going to get my leftovers there. And move on. And it's painful, it's painful in the wallet. It's painful in the number of views you get. But the censorship is it's brutal. It makes this a job instead of fun. So
yeah, I always come up with
You're right.
The word Sam.
Sam.
Sir, ma'am.
Sir, ma'am. Yeah.
Or shimp.
Or wino. Women in name only.
Yeah, wino. I like that. Yeah.
Sir.
A shimp.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Macho ma'am. How you doing? Or you could just call them GMOs.
Yep.
Genetically modified organisms.
Hey, that
I
works.
prefer organic.
No, I like
females.
small, surgically modified organisms.
Surgically modified. Sumo. Yeah. Surgically modified.
Oh, you can't go with sumo. They'll start complaining that you're fat shaming them or something next.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Hey,
Pop has lost 20 pounds from fat shaming.
Well, that woman that you had brought up earlier there, I mean, she got unfat shamed into the grave.
Yeah.
Like somebody should have fat shamed her. It would have saved her life.
You're talking that,
that influencer or whatever that's dead at what 26?
Oh, yeah.
She's 800 pounds.
What, a half-ton Harriet?
Man, like
you know what? We should give these women like gangster names.
Supersized salon star and baby doll beauty couture founder dead at 37. At one point in time, Jamie Lopez weighed 846 pounds.
That's remove a wall fat.
Gee, I wonder why her heart gave out.
But you know something? Scroll down through there just a little bit more.
Sure.
Where's the notification of go see a dietitian? Make sure to talk to your health professional. Where's the Twitter warning that eating excessively, et cetera, can do this? Nothing. Just stunning and brave. Sorry to see
you. Healthy at any size.
What a surprise! I can't imagine what happened.
We should start a new body positive phrase. Healthy in a pine box.
Well, hey, speaking of which, Pop, one of the guys here, which is let me see if I can find it here. Is Morpheus or Morphus 69. He says one of the mates here is asking Pop, as a vet at 40 years plus, what's his suggestion for getting in shape? Notice they didn't ask me how to get in shape because they look at me and they're like, this fat dude got no game. He says it's a great question for people looking to improve. Didn't want to get lost in my chat. So I wanted to ask you because he wanted to ask you directly.
Well, the thing is like if you have a history of doing PT or used to be in shape or when you were younger, it's a lot easier to do it once you get older.
Yeah.
Because you have muscle memory and your body remembers that.
Yeah.
Like say you're one of those individuals who sat behind the Xbox until they're 30 and all it's like, oh, I look like shit. I got to fix it. You're done.
A lot harder.
It is way harder unless you want to, do the take some roids and stuff.
Yeah, go full Ivan Drago.
Yeah. But I mean, usually you start off like slow. Like when I'm trying to get my endurance back. I usually go out and I'll do a speed walk, and I do like a 200-meter like jog, and then I'll walk again, and then I just make the jogging longer and the walking less, and then towards the end when I start to really get my wind back, I'll add like a 400-meter sprint at the end.
And one of the things I would recommend, you can sit on your ass and just become skinny. It's called not eating. And you don't want to do that, obviously, but intermittent fasting,
That's what I
smaller
do.
eating. Yeah, I do it too. My longest fast is 21 days and just water. And during that point, I think I lost like 23 pounds.
Fuck
Like
you.
Bob's like, I like pizza too much, man.
Fuck
and
you.
you know what the amazing thing? Do you know what the amazing thing they don't tell you when you fast to lose weight? Your skin will tighten back up. You ever see these people that lose weight real quick and they got all this saggy skin? When you're fasting, your body knows to use skin as fuel, and it'll break down a lot of stuff. So I
And
did it.
jumps your HGH up to keep you from losing muscle mass.
Yep. So you can actually incorporate that intermittent fasting.
That's exactly what I do.
You can do water fasting and only eat proteins. So I lost 13 pounds 2 months ago before I went to my mom's for Thanksgiving, and then I gained it all back, and it was totally worth it. Because my mom's 78. Who knows how much longer you get mom's cooking.
Dude, I understand completely.
And I lost like 12 or 13 pounds in a month. And all I did is I didn't eat all day. I drank lots of water. I went for 2-3 mile long walks with my dog. And then for dinner at night, I went out and I bought good steak. It was about $10 a steak. It's not cheap right now. It's expensive, but you can find it on sale. I ate one steak with some vegetables. And that was so complete carb free, just protein and veggies. And I'll tell you, man, 13 pounds in a month. Now, when you first start that, 5 or 6 of it is water weight because you retain water when you're eating carbohydrates. But I still probably lost 5 to 8 pounds of legit fat. You just got the hardest part for most people to do it is to do it and do it consistently, even if you don't see the scale change, even if you don't feel stronger, just keep doing it.
Well, at 5 o'clock today, I was 191.8.
And then you took a crap. And you lost 7 pounds.
Well, the thing is like when I retired in 2018, I weighed 221. The heaviest ever been was like 226, 228.
Yeah, that was the Fat Punisher day.
Yeah. And so that's like almost 40 pounds.
Yep.
That's a QRF rucksack, a quick reaction force rucksack that I was carrying around everywhere I went. No wonder my fucking hips and my knees and my ankles were just fucked all the time.
There you go.
With the lighter I get, way higher my energy gets, like way higher. Sleep less, more energy, literally hop out of bed, like your energy level just skyrockets.
It's pretty awesome, man.
It's pretty good, yeah. But the key to getting in shape is you just got to do it slow.
Yep. Do it slow and do it consistently.
All right, I'm going to jump back into this chat here. I missed the last half of this one here, Cliff 3188, because we went off in the weeds for a bit. I have an acronym for you to use, Joker, says Cliff 3188. Heebie-jeebie. Can I send you an email to show you how I came up with it?
Yeah, being thebestbachelor@gmail.com.
Check it out. Mustanger65 sent in 1999. No comment. Thank you very much. Fan I am. Joker did a video on 3 women who transitioned and got told to shut up with their opinions.
Yeah. I'm telling you, they literally they logged into let's see, what's a real easy game. They logged into Candy Crush and set it on Doom nightmare level just by making this switch. Like girls have so many bailouts, such an easy life. We get so much hate for saying this. But women really do. And they decided to go hard mode. I guarantee every one of them is going to regret that decision.
But the thing is, women don't seem to understand this. Is after they hit the wall and they really start losing their looks and they become invisible,
then they're on hard mode.
Then you go to hard mode.
Yeah, and no, we're on easy mode.
Oh, well. Dung is Fun says, Joker, I'm happy that you won the prize, man. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I hope more guys can enjoy it than just me. That's the clutch.
Successful Endeavors says, Blake, you've got Brendan Lee O'Connell in the chat. You and Pop need to get him on the show. Well, Brendan Lee O'Connell, if you're still watching, there's a link tree in the Meat Gazer box. Give it a click. Shoot Pop an email. We'll get
Who's
you on the
that
show,
guy?
man.
I don't know.
I've heard about him, but I haven't
never
seen
even
any
heard
of his
of him.
content. Fan I am sent in some clips.
Nothing like making him feel bad. Who is that guy?
Who's
I
this
never heard of him.
I'm
He
bad
wants to be on the
I'm
show.
bad
Who
with
is he?
names.
Yeah, I know.
I will not remember your fucking name.
Well,
I
the
just
dudes
won't.
who watch this show know that for 3 years I was video dude.
Yeah.
So
I gotta be honest with you. At my age, I don't even remember my own name half the time. That's
Joker.
just how it rolls.
It's not doesn't just say Joker on your birth certificate.
No.
I was just wondering.
Yeah.
A blood type, voice for print.
Exactly right.
Laffy Moore. In a way, they stole taxpayers' money during this whole FTX fiasco. You are correct.
Yep.
Well, basically everything the federal government does without polling its citizens or like getting a vote is stealing our money.
Correct.
Let's just be honest. Taxation is theft, especially how they use it. Because no one really cared about January 6th. We know there wasn't an insurrection, so them referring criminal charges when we knew they were going to do that anyway. It's a big nothing burger. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah, I mean, they've already investigated Trump 3 times. They didn't have anything.
Yeah, and I love how he's so fat and he's out of shape. His health is a concern, blah, blah, blah. But then we're expected to believe he's a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger in the backseat of his own fucking presidential limo, and he can jump in the front and kick 2 Secret Service men out of the way and grab the wheel. Kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Well, here's a trivia question. How many senators / congressmen / whoever have you heard railing against the media and screaming for the last 2 years about all the people that are still being wrongfully held because of
one.
Not one. So if you wonder how Republicans really feel about you and their constituents,
there you go.
One of them has done crap, and including Trump. I'm sorry, but
that's true. He let Kwame Kilpatrick go on his last day in office. I'm sorry. That's a big fuck you for me.
Yep.
Trump.
Yep. All of them hate you.
Dung is fun. Joker, Republicans and Democrats are like the WWF, man. Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's all fake, and
It's
they
all
act like they hate each other. Then when they're off stage, they're shaking hands and laughing at you.
Yep. They're all snorting cocaine off the same toilet seat back.
Good old Mitch McConnell.
Bitch McConnell. Jaffo on the bound. Tim Pool reported today at the last bit of the segment about Air Force bases switching from Republican voting bloc to Democrat. Do you feel safe yet?
Nope.
It's all the same, man.
Yep.
The good old boys are leaving the military. Now the good news is they probably still live down the road on the farm from you, but they're not going to be the cops. They're not going to be the military anymore.
Yep.
The good news is, though, the ones that are still in, just put a couple of rounds of 5.56 over their heads about a foot above there. They'll go screaming for the woods because,
Yeah. Well,
jail.
Listen, I have been one of those guys to harass normal troops with 6 guys. We paralyzed a whole battalion for 3 days.
Yep. Nothing worse than the enemy you can't see. And as a sniper, you control the battlefield.
Well,
it is your arena until they see you. So as long as you can stay hidden.
I lived high off the hog because I snuck in their camp and ate their food, drank their water, and stole their beer and booze.
And then sneak out and put them back under the scope.
I stole their guide on. I remember we filled all their machine guns with dirt. We taped the guard to his rack because he was asleep.
Well,
yeah.
You probably
now take the guys that were in when you were doing that to them and make them 20 times worse.
Dun, dun,
If your head's in the game, I think we'll be okay.
It's all good, man. We got a 2 from Leo Titian, who apparently works at Google. Sing after reading title to live stream. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am. Hello from Google, support Popster. And he says, Joker, what is your message for the holidays? Well, wait, I'll put it on high volume in the Google office. You got a holiday message, Joker?
Touch grass, man. Just turn it all off. Go touch grass.
Touch grass or smoke it.
Because everything in front of you right now is doom and gloom on the internet. Because we want you to know the information. But if you go out and touch grass, that world still exists. It's still good. People are nice. People love each other. They're not down each other's, throats with attitude, depending on where you live. Just go touch grass. Get off the internet for a couple months. If you're feeling down a little bit, it'll help so much.
There you go. Stay away from the leftoid shitholes, and everything's pretty much okay. Peter Oslowski, I'm guessing Polish. Come on, you guys, to Florida. Nice weather here for some quality range time.
That is lies. It is 24 degrees in Florida tonight. Don't listen. It is 44 degrees here in Tennessee.
Nice. Wow, wow. It's like 25 here too. Drew says, "What do vets need to know to navigate the VA?"
You're going to be fucked.
Or
All right.
lube
Now, the
sideways.
thing with the VA is,
Dry.
if you're dealing with your local VA and you're just dealing with them, they're going to take fucking forever. The way you want to supercharge the VA is the way I do administrative violence. So say you need certain services from your VA and they're dragging their feet. You write a letter to your congressman, your representative, and the governor. And then you take copies of all those letters and write a letter right to the guy, the director of the VA himself. And you overnight it to his fucking office. So when they open it, they go, here's a letter for me. Oh, here's a letter to the fucking senator, the fucking congressman. Because those guys are all going to be making calls and going to drive drive them crazy. That's how you supercharge the system.
Can I tell you how to supercharge that one more level based on where you live?
Yeah.
Tell them you're transgender.
There you go.
Top of the list.
Well, yeah, because they have supplanted the average Western woman at the top of the victim
That's
chain.
it. Yep. I identify as a colored woman from the South. That'll get you right to the front of the line. Front of the line.
Front of the line. All right, next one up here. Dung is fun. A big horde of people. It's more effective than a piece of property. Just like locusts, you can take over anything you want. Nothing can stop you. 6,000 rounds could.
That's not true.
Well, depending on how big the horde is
and who you are. Yeah. Yes. You can stop them.
Well, if it's like a horde of Antifa, 6,000 rounds is more than enough because they're morons.
There's obstacles, there's choke points. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff.
Just look up some of the traps they used in Vietnam.
Yeah.
There you go. Schlitz Malt Liquor with a donation and no comment. Thank you very much. JK, just get yourself a Harvest Right freeze drying machine. I have one and it's awesome. Make some raw liver for your dog too.
Send me a link to that. That's interesting.
Harvest Right freeze drying machine.
I've never even heard of a drying machine. Is that where you salt it and it just turns it into jerky or what?
That's probably just a dehydrator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dung is fun. I can have 500 years of food for me. I'm only one person to defend it. You need a lot more to protect it. You do need more people to defend it.
Yes,
if they know you have it.
Yes. David Flores with a $50 donation. Excellent. He wants a Stewie Griffin voice here. After eating MREs for a week, taking a dump is like giving birth to a fecal demon.
Pretty much.
Straw.
Fucking bastards.
Rational Irrationality says, happy holidays to 3 of the best 5 red pill leaders on screen. Thanks, guys, for all that you do. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams and the free agent lifestyle and Cappy, of course.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Cappy's a good dude. I'm going to try to get him on here pretty soon. Soldier Girl, good to see you, baby. No hate here. Much appreciation. This is from 488. Much respect.
We're at 492. We're 8 short.
492. And G-Man with 2 here back-to-back. Finally, we got the trio together. And if it's not apparent that we must become our own leadership, faith, brother.
Absolutely correct.
Yes. All right. We still got about 1,000 people watching us just on YouTube. I want to thank everybody for tuning in up till this point. With that being said, but it is time for us to go to new tech because I'm sure we got some nasty, disgusting chats. I know somebody over on MGTOW.tv now has the handle Lizzo Pop. You disgusting fat bastard.
Now, hang on. I got an announcement. All right. So if you are a supporter for Donklist.com, we run the Sunday supporter stream on MGTOW TV because the chats and the GIFs game is unrivaled anywhere. It's still a little buggy.
I'm looking at boobs as we speak.
It's still a little buggy, but it is what it is.
And I just pasted in all of the links for where you can watch the remainder of the stream. We're going to be getting into all the rest of the chats on the other platforms. We're live on Rumble, Odyssey, MGTOW.tv, DLive, and Twitch. Rumble is rocking 785 and rising rapidly as we speak.
Outstanding.
So we got over
for the win.
Yep, absolutely. Over 2,000 people watching tonight. So take a break, empty your squirrel bladders, refill your menageries, and we will see you mother fornicators in what, 5 minutes?
Yeah, all right.
5 minutes sounds pretty good. See you in
Okay.
5.